MYM23, GIRLFRIEND'(SF25) Mother tried to embarrass me in front of her church, and when it backfired, she banned me from stepping foot in her house. So I started dating my GF 5 months ago. She's religious, no sex until marriage, and I'm atheist. I was raised in church, but as I got older, I established my own views. I just don't believe God is real. I know very unlikely couple. I don't fully know how it came about either, but it works for us. Around our 3-month mark she wanted me to meet her mother, but warned me that her mother is much more religious than her. The first time I met her I actually went to church and we had Sunday dinner, and that's when I revealed to her family that I don't believe in God, and her mother became visibly upset, calling me a faker and saying how could I even go to church and be in her house if I'm not a God-fearing man, and even accused me of trying to taint her daughter. It was very tense, and since then her mom didn't like me. Now my GF and I had an agreement that I would go to church with her twice out of the month. I did it because of course I respected her beliefs, and I know how happy me being there with her made her, even if I did not care to hear what they were saying. A week ago her mother invited me to church with them, and at their church, they have a segment where they welcome all of the visitors and let them introduce themselves. Her mother took that opportunity to tell me to stand up and introduce myself and let the whole church know that I did not believe in God. I was very embarrassed. I did not like being called out, but I stood my ground and said I don't believe in God. I'm only here for my GF. I know how much it means for me to be here and support her. And the preacher said rather it be God or love. I'm happy you're here and you're welcome anytime you like. Safe to say her mother did not like that, and when we got back to her home, she kicked me out and said it was very disrespectful for me to be there and that I was a faker for dating her daughter and going to church. When honestly I just enjoy being there for my GF. There's no ill intent. It doesn't bother me when she prays. I've never once faked anything I've done for her. The wild part is her mother is the only person in her family who has an issue with me. She supports and understands me the same way I do for her. She's the only girl I've ever dated that feels right for me because there are no crazy expectations. It's just nice and peaceful besides her mom. I know this is also hurting my GF too. She cries and prays about it. Dude, the faker is your GF's mother. She didn't invite you to church to get closer to her God or to be in support of her daughter's beliefs. She invited you to her church to publicly embarrass and shame you in front of her congregation. It was a fake invitation. Luckily the preacher knows his shit and wasn't having any of it. You and your GF are old enough to speak for yourselves, so I wouldn't be taking any more shit from the real faker here, her mother. Ugh. Ops, GF's mom sounds like my mom. The most ineffective way of getting someone to change their beliefs on God is ridiculing them. Believing your way is right and being an example of a nasty person. I was raised very Catholic. Left the church after college. My mom said she has failed as a mother and I'm a heathen. Now, my close friend's mother, who is, in my book, a saint, has been an example of a tolerant Christian. She embodies the most important messages and is so relaxing to talk about life with on a philosophical level. Listen up, Christians. Practice what you believe. Everyone knows if you are actually an asshole and using religion to hide behind your bigoted and hateful rhetoric. I wouldn't go to the mother's home ever again. If you wish to continue to go to church services with your GF, do so. Be civil to the mother if you see her at church, but don't engage her in conversation. I'd say that you got a good welcome from the pastor. You did an excellent job of standing up for yourself and showed a lot of maturity. If the mother continues to give you grief, I would look for another church to attend with your GF. Wishing you the best of luck going forward. It just hurts my feelings because our system works. I feel like it's silly to say, but my GF said if we ever got married, it would have to be in a church, which I said no problem, things are just worked out, that's simply between us. We've had our discussions about religion, but it's never been a big issue even with our differences. I just know that it hurts her more than anything. I hate make her feeling like she has to choose between me and her mother and religion. I am kind of confused. What is your girlfriend doing here? Why didn't she have a go at her mom for putting you on the spot like that, or for making drama when there shouldn't be? She should be defending you here. I would also be so embarrassed if any of my family members did this to my partner, let alone my mom. A lot of Christian families teach their kids that standing up to the parents is a sin and disrespectful, and cutting off parents is completely off the table and will send you straight to hell. The fact that the mom wants a God-fearing man for her daughter means that GF has had that fear pushed into her for her entire life, which makes it so much harder for her to stand up to her parents because of the, quite frankly, emotional abuse that goes into that kind of religious brainwashing. Stranded in my 39M apartment alone with my cats for 5 days, literally the afternoon I was diagnosed with a second very possibly deadly cancer. My wife, 36F, took our only car, the bank card, left me with $24 and went 2 states away to help a mutual friend whose wife just left. Tuesday morning I was in work in my home office. I came out and she told me she was driving to Iowa to help our mutual friend, also 39 meters, that we went to high school with. They do have sexual dating history, including being the catalyst for me spending a night in a psych ward 20 years ago. Depression. I almost hurt myself when they were fucking in the next room. His wife was leaving, had taken his Jeep, their only car. He needed help. I asked if we could buy him a Greyhound to get to where he was going. She stated she was going. I said I needed her to take me to the doctor and take me home. During this appointment she left me alone at the hospital to go pack. I was told I have retina melanoma, in addition to my existing incurable medullary thyroid cancer. There is a 50% chance it is class 2 metastatic and deadly within a decade, months if it is only my liver. I told her this. She left anyway. She promised to call me. We were going to sleep on video phone together. It's been 5 days. She hasn't called. I keep saying I love you and I miss you and she won't say it back. She's just angry that I kept texting her and asking if we had money so I could Uber to see someone or do something so I wasn't stranded at home for 5 days after getting this life-altering news. She's coming back today, supposedly, but she won't tell me where she is or anything. She just says, "I'm driving." I told her I was thinking about moving back in with my dad. He's called me every day. He's shown so much concern. Reddit. I don't know what to do. I literally may only have months to live. I don't feel like I can ever trust her again throughout my illness and possible death. I kind of think she might have decided to leave me and then I was diagnosed with this cancer. And she won't talk to me, not even a phone call. Reddit. This isn't normal, right? This isn't healthy? I'm not asking for a moral judgment, just to know what people generally expect from their partners, and I have to make decision, and soon. I cannot subject myself to whatever she is doing for the rest of my possibly short life. I know it has to get better right away. I don't know what that means. I'm scared and lonely. Thank you for any time you have to read and give advice. Update. She left me. She and the old friend have cooked up a narrative that I lied to them both to keep them apart 20 years ago, but now they are meant to be. I am apparently abusive and manipulative. And I manipulated our couple's therapist into believing that I'm not controlling. She's lost her damn mind and left me for my friend the day I was diagnosed with eye melanoma. I'm sorry about your diagnosis. I think you need to go where you'll have the most support. That sounds like your dad is the best place for you. You should consult an attorney as well. Sounds like she has been waiting for this guy to call her and ask her to come. She dropped everything to do so. No real good way to paint any of this. It is all bad. I'm sorry, my man, that you have to go through this, and I really hope you're okay regarding your wife. I'm sorry to say, but she's a bad person. And I don't think she cares, to be honest. I'd say leave, take the car when she's back, grab whatever money you have, and go live your life to the fullest. If she complains, she can take an Uber and everything. It's so complicated, the backstory could fill an entire book. She has a terrible amount of trauma in her background. She feels that I yell constantly. We've been doing therapy and the therapist, you could tell, was wondering if I was abusive for a while. Now she's, the therapist, taken the position that my wife's trauma reaction is activated all the time, and that's what's going on. My wife has flat out stated that I am manipulating the therapist and misrepresenting myself in those sessions. There were also a decade of so severe she spent 3 years in a wheelchair-level migraines. It took us forever to figure it all out. I supported her during this entire time. She wasn't working, she couldn't, and I knew that I barely could, but I'm proud that I kept us going. And she's right, I did have an anger problem for a long time. I've been working on it and improving. I didn't understand what was normal and what wasn't. That's on me. Recently I realized she's experiencing a literal different reality from me. One day I told her I had been wearing the same clothes for 3 days because I needed clean ones, and I said I can do it, but I just need to know X and X about washing some of her clothes in with mine. She freaked out, started crying. I asked if she was experiencing this conversation as me yelling, and she said yes. She started hearing me yelling at same clothes for 3 days, but man, I am 10,000% confident my voice was calm. For fuck's sake, I was offering to do the laundry. And that's when I realized she's evaluating our relationship through those kind of lenses. And I would have tried to fix it and work on it for her, I love her so fucking much. But I think she may have decided things about me. Even then, I would work through this or try, but I really might be running out of time.